Alright, everyone. I have not done this in a while, but it's time to call out Spectrum News New York 1. And the only reason why I'm doing it is because Pine Power LI called out News 12 South Shore for a good reason last night, and that is because they were only talking about the storm on the South Shore. But the main reason why we are calling out Spectrum News, New York 1, they've been ignoring a lot of the news as usual. In fact, we had two big crime stories that it got ignored by them. There was a story that just came out today in Staten Island, and we're going to talk about a robbery that occurred in the Upper West Side last night. In fact, there's two stories on the Upper West Side. If there's only one, then alright, because we will talk about the news in Queens as well, but you want to talk about the blatancy of Channel 1 as usual? I mean, really, they're talking about politics. Like, come on. How is that the top story? You want to see the Staten Island page? Nothing. But if we go on the home page of the Staten Island Advance, and I'm going to look it up now. Here we go. NYPD releases scary video of maxed invasion. This should have been the top story. Alright? And believe me, you think this is going to make the front page of the Daily News and the New York Post tomorrow? No. It's not even going to be mentioned in any of the papers, because probably tomorrow morning when I watch New York 1, Pat Kiernan's probably going to brag about economics. And believe me, at the end of this video, we will call out Pat Kiernan again. You don't think I'm going to call out Pat Kiernan? I've called him out in the past numerous times, folks. I've done it numerous times, and I'm damn sure I'll call out Pat Kiernan again at the end of this video. And if you don't know who Pat Kiernan is by now, he's the main anchor of Mornings on One, which pretty much the only reason why I watch in the morning, it's just for laughs. I just like to see Pat Kiernan act so snobby with Jamie Stelter in the morning. But I will say, the new meteorologist does a good job. I like his attitude. Right? He's very presentable for TV. His name is Guy. I forget his last name. He's very tall. If you watch in the morning, you'll know who I'm talking about. So anyhow, let's get to the main news story of the day. Thank you, Staten Island Advance. I knew they would cover this. So here we go. And I want to mention to my cousins in Staten Island, they should really be reading the Advance more often, because they do a great job covering the borough. If NYC Pokemon fans watching too, I'm calling them out, you need to read the Advance. Because you go to Staten Island a lot, you go to the College of Staten Island, and you should really be reading on what's going on in Staten Island, because the crime in Staten Island is really getting out of hand from what I've noticed this year. And not to mention, Staten Island's the second most borough that's seeing robberies this year. So anyhow, speaking of robberies, entering and leaving, alright, a 5-year-old girl, pistol whipped. 5-year-old girl. How in the world does not make the New York 1 homepage? We're not even mentioned on New York 1 this morning. This came out this morning. So let's read this. The NYPD released frightening video of 4 maxed individuals entering Amir's Corner home as they try to identify individuals sought in an alleged home invasion robbery where a child and a woman were assaulted in the middle of the night. The individuals are seen entering through a door and then walking through a hallway and rooms of the home in a video provided to the media by the NYPD. Some of the individuals appeared to be armed with guns. At least one of the victims who lived there was sleeping in a bedroom when confronted by an individual, according to a source with knowledge to the investigation. The individuals were strangers to the victims, according to a source with knowledge of the investigation. The terrifying event occurred yesterday morning on December 18th. So you gotta be kidding me! This happened as the storm was rolling in on Monday night. Or early Monday morning. Are you kidding me? Well, karma's on them because they probably got wet. 4 unidentified individuals allegedly kicked in the front door of a home in the vicinity of Livingston Avenue and Queen Street, according to a statement by the Deputy Commissioner of Public Information. Once inside the home, 3 of the individuals brandished firearms at a 33-year-old woman, a 5-year-old girl, a 4-year-old boy, and a 54-year-old woman, according to the police statement. The individuals demanded money and jewelry while using their firearms to strike the 5-year-old girl and the woman in their faces, according to the statement issued by the NYPD. The individuals then removed the cell phone before fleeing the house by unknown means. The victims suffered lacerations and bleeding, and they were taken by EMS to Staten Island University Hospital in Ocean Breeze for treatment. Images depicting the individuals were provided to the media by the NYPD. The motive is not known at this time. Because the suspects were Max, descriptions are not available for the individuals, according to a source with knowledge of the investigation. So, according to this, Staten Island Shruma is also offering a $10,000 reward. Because when I looked up this neighborhood on Google Maps before I began recording this video, it looked like this was an Orthodox Jewish neighborhood. Yeah, and NYC Pokemon fan can contribute to the conversation too. If he wants to in the comments, or he knows how to reach me privately. Okay, so, we do have pictures. I'm not even going to play the video, that's how disturbing it is. But here's pictures of the suspect, according to the Staten Island Shrima. So it's probably an Orthodox Jewish crime-fighting group. So here's a couple pictures. That guy looked like he had a very bad mask on him. So there you go, guys. I mean, this should have been the top story on NY1, but it's probably going to be forgotten about. Alright, so let's take a look at this neighborhood. And again, from what I was zooming in, oh my god, this is right by the College of Staten Island. You gotta be kidding me. Yep. Look at this. 2 Jewish areas right here. You have a synagogue. So look at this. 2 synagogues in this area. 2 synagogues. Alright? Because I know the Staten Island Jewish community very well. When my great-uncle passed away 8 years ago, his funeral was at a Jewish funeral home on Victory Boulevard. So believe me, I know the Jewish community in Staten Island very well. Just stating that for the record. Yep, look at this. Mid-Island and Castleton. So this is a Jewish area. I know exactly where this is. Because then the College Staten Island is right there. So you have a lot of Jewish delis and... Yeah, see that? This is Dardana Mini Mart. I know exactly where this is. So believe me, I know this area. Let's do a street view. And you see here, the houses over here. How are the houses? Yeah, the houses don't look that bad. Like, this is a street view from 2022. Yeah, see? A lot of hills in this area. But I've seen a lot fancier mansions when I've gotten off the Staten Island Expressway. So there you have it. I mean... should have been covered by NY1, but nope. Okay, so let's get into the other news that has been getting ignored. We have a lot of news. Actually, I got 3 stories that I need to read. Is going on, particularly on the Upper West Side, which is, believe it or not, right where Channel 7 studios are. Right in their own backyard. How in the world could Channel 7 miss this one? They could have sent a reporter right over to this one. Look at this. Last night, attempted robbery in transit, 72nd Street Station on the BC line. I mean, how in the world could you miss this one? Their studios is right by Columbus Avenue. Really? Yeah, and there's no news articles. I checked the patch. So, and click on these 2 stories. So let's get into the other robbery news that we have on the Upper West Side, which got ignored by the media. So look at this. A 13-year-old girl, a bike thief threatened her on Amsterdam Avenue. Let's read this. So this happened at 4 p.m. last Wednesday. Yes. 13-year-old victim was approached by a assailant. Wait a minute. So a teenage boy stole the bike? Oh, goodness sake. So this is a juvenile. All right, so here we go. The victim was approached by a juvenile assailant near Amsterdam Avenue and West 86th Street about 4 p.m. when he threatened physical harm if she didn't give up the bike. The swiper, depicted as a boy in his late teens, then fled on the bike. The victim didn't report any physical injuries as a result of the incident. Oh, and then, so he did take the bike. Look at that. I mean, how in the world could this get ignored? You have a loose juvenile who took a bike from a girl. Like, how could this get ignored? How? And then look what happened. This is the story we got here. 9 robberies in the Upper West Side. See what we got. Oh, this is more than just the Upper West Side. They targeted other shops in Manhattan and Brooklyn. Wow, $5,000 total items. So look at this, folks. Look at this. These are probably repeat bail reform repeaters. You know, this is what bail reform does to our criminal justice system. The same criminals that commit the same crimes, guess what? They get put back on the streets as usual. Alright? Oh, and then look at this. The first location was on the Upper East Side, 1st Avenue, 68th Street. I know exactly where this is. M31 bus. So I know exactly where this is. And then there's another store that got robbed in Kips Bay right after Thanksgiving. Alright, so I don't even want to read any more of this. I'm just disgusted. But the bike one should have gotten coverage. I'm sorry, but you have a loose juvenile who stole a bike from a girl around his age. Like, how in the world does that not get any media coverage? I get the boy is underage, but this boy needs to be held accountable. This is what turns these juveniles into criminal adults. They don't get help for their actions. That's a problem with our justice system in New York. Let's move on to the other news that got ignored in Queens. So all I'm just going to say is we have a lot of subway crime going on in Queens. And you know, I'm glad yesterday Jonathan D'Souza from Passengers United was talking about it, because the crime in the subway has gotten out of control. It's ridiculous. I mean, I don't even have the patience to read through it. That's how disgusted I am. It's just the same old pattern. And the problem is, and you're going to look at the crime stats, you're going to notice that most of the crimes do happen in the subway system because these criminals know that the cops are not always going to be around. They're able to get away with it. You know? The police, the subway cops, they just patrol the above-ground subway platforms. I never see them downstairs. Alright? So what we're going to do, because I don't want to make this video very long, I just want to mention the Creedmoor plan. I'll just give a quick opinion on that. What is Hochul doing? I mean, is she lost her freaking mind? We got to talk about this, because this is getting ignored. That's what I did want to talk about in this video. And then we'll get to one story in Queens that I have the patience to read. Because if I go over all the crime in Queens, it's going to make the video longer, and it's just not going to end well, alright? The leaders of a coalition of 14 Eastern Queens Civic Association announced their opposition last week to the Creedmoor development plan that New York Governor Kathy Hochul unveiled on December 6th. The group argues that the plan, which calls for 2,873 apartments spread across the sprawling Creedmoor Psychiatric Center sites, includes residential buildings that are too large. The coalition also believes the plan does not provide enough parking spaces and includes too much housing for the homeless. So it's just unbelievable what Hochul's thinking of doing. I mean, look at this. The buildings supposedly are going to be 3 stories high. And then this is twice as dense as nearby Glen Oaks Village, which has a similar number of apartments, nearly 3,000. And supposedly there's going to be retail space, open space, and a school. I just don't get what Hochul's thinking here. Is she drinking Kool-Aid? She must be. The next phase is setting up a member of the Creedmoor Advisory Community Committee, where residents and stakeholders can share their opinions with state officials. So, the plan does not have to go through the city's land use review process. So the state of New York has responsibility. So let's see. Does she want to tear down Creedmoor? Or is this just going to be south of... Okay, so this is going to be south of Winchester Boulevard. Okay. So thankfully the Creedmoor building will stand the way it is, but... I don't know. I mean, why would you want to put housing in this area? It just doesn't make any sense. Why? Yeah, see, here's a bigger map of it. So Creedmoor is going to be untouched on Winchester Boulevard, so you'll still have the Psych Center. But supposedly Hochul wants to build on the other side of Union Turnpike, so closer to the Cross Island Parkway. And, I mean, look at this. I mean, she's basically proposing this to go all the way down to Hillside Avenue. Like, has she lost her mind? Has she lost her mind? The community is going to openly be against this. I can tell you one person who's not going to be in favor of this. John Rinaldi. The community activist who ran for city council in my district just last month. Believe it or not, I found out from him he actually owns a house in this area. So believe me, he has a lot of big bucks. Not that much, but enough to own 2 houses. One in Forest Hills. By the way, he ran in my district because his mom's address was there, etc., etc. So that's why it made it legal. And then he has a property right by Creedmoor. And that's why you saw him protesting the migrant tents. So trust me, he needs to protest this. Right? If John Rinaldi is somewhere, he needs to be out here and protesting this, because this isn't his neighborhood, for crying out loud. He lives right by this in Belrose. I know I'm calling out a lot of people in this video, but believe me, when you have pent-up anger and frustration at the local media that will not cover certain news stories, you're going to get pretty mad. Alright, so 2 more things we're going to talk about here. So let's talk about a jewelry store owner that was shot during a robbery. So when did this happen? Oh, look at this. Happened last Tuesday. It occurred 6:30 p.m. at 35-35 Junction Boulevard. Yep. As they rivaled jewelry from the establishments, one of the perps fired their weapon at the 59-year-old owner, striking him in the head and thigh. So, no surprise, the robbers got away. A 911 call was sent out. Police discovered the wounded owner and then took him to Elmhurst Hospital. The 115th precinct has seen 338 robberies so far this year, about 14% more in the same time in 2022. There you go. So, but this is what I don't understand. I thought burglaries were going up this year. And by the way, we need to read one more article. I knew there was one more I had to read. You're not going to believe what happened to Bay Terrace. But I had an article. Okay, if I find it, I find it. we'll get into this, because this is an assault case. So let's see what we got here. The number of reported felony assault cases in Queens has increased over the last month. Now, to me, this doesn't make any sense, because I thought Manhattan had the most felony assault cases this year. Especially in the 1-9 precinct. Alright, so let me continue reading this. Felony assault cases have increased in both northern and southern Queens for the 28-day period that went from November 20th through December 17th. Wow. A whole spike in the past month. That's very disturbing. Wow. In northern Queens, felony assault cases over the 28-day period went up 15% from 167 last year to 192 this year. The numbers also jumped in southern Queens from 8.4% to 178 to 193. Now, in northern Queens, we're going to look at this one here. Covers Corona and Elmhurst in the 110 precinct. Cases in the precinct went up from 30 to 45. Now, mind you, the 110 also covers Kew Gardens. So this is very disturbing. 15 more assaults than this time last year. 15! Really? Just want to see where my precinct's listed. Because I think I'm in Queens South. Let me look at the 107. Okay. So, just going to look for... Alright, so... burglary still the same in the 107. No surprise there. Wow, look at that. Grand larceny's up. Now, grand larceny is important. That counts as robbery. So here's some good news at least. So it looks like grand larceny auto has gone down this year, because I thought it would have went up. But surprisingly, we've had a 33% decrease in grand larceny auto this year. Okay. Alright, felony assault is down. Robbery is down. So that's good news at least, because I want to mention the 107 precinct has made a change. We do have a new commanding officer, and I just want to wish Officer Kevin Jan the best in his new role in the NYPD. The NYPD keeps making changes. You know, you don't see Ed Caban making public statements, and this is why I keep saying I miss Keechant Sewell. She was always on the job. The only good thing Eric Adams did when he became mayor was Commissioner Sewell. And then once Commissioner Sewell came in, we got boring old Chef Madry. Give me a break. And Keechant Sewell was a very good public speaker. Okay, so speaking of felony assault, let's read this one. A garden hose nozzle used for an assault? What? Where did this happen in Bayside? Oh no, you gotta be kidding me. I know exactly where this is. Yep, I'm always in this area once a week. Wow. This happened right by the 111 precinct. 21903 Northern Boulevard. Wow. Just wow. I am disturbed right now. 12 noon. On Tuesday, November 7th. Wow. This happened on Election Day. According to police, a man in black walked into the second-story office followed by two young men who recorded the beatdown on their cell phones. The assailant walked across the office and whipped out a metal garden hose nozzle that he used to bludgeon the 57-year-old multiple times in the head. The three men then fled in an unknown direction and remained at large more than a month later. The victim sustained redness and swelling and was treated at the crime scene by EMS. I'm not even going to play the video. Believe me. So let's just give a description of the suspect. So here we go. So the suspect is described as an Asian who was wearing a black sweatshirt, black pants, a black baseball cap, and a face mask during the attack. Cops also released a photo of the man caught on camera outside the office after he removed the face mask. Yep, so that's him. Wow. Again, right by the 111. Like, you cannot make this stuff up, folks. It's just... That's why felony assaults have gone up in Queens, it looks like. So let's look up this address. I know exactly where this is. Pull it up on Google Maps. Yep, I'll show you exactly where this is. So I know exactly where this is. Alright? Show you. Yep. You load today. I swear with Google Maps sometimes, it's like you gotta play tug of war with it. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me. This happened right across the street from AM/PM? No way. No way. I know exactly where this building is. Yep, see that? This is the right address? Yeah, this is the right address. Oh my god, guys. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, look at that. This isn't even the most recent street view. This is from 2017. This is when 7-Eleven was still open. Oh, it's even more of a joke. This is from 2014. I swear, Google Street View needs to update. I swear, Google Street View really needs to update this. But on a serious note, yeah. So there you go. I mean, right by Springfield Boulevard. So there you go. I mean, another day in Staten Island 2.0 as usual. We get ignored because we just don't matter. So, to wrap this up, we're going to do a Just for Laughs segment of just showing you how Pat Kiernan is so snobby. Just look how snobby he looks. He used to never be like this.
Time for looking at some of what's in the Tuesday morning.
Oh my god, just watch this.
The front page of the Wall Street Journal. There's a photo here of an Israeli soldier playing a violin.
That's not why he was snobby. That was actually a good thing to see this morning.
An interlude. That soldier was posted near the border with Gaza, and the war independence of one of America's oldest, most storied industrial and
economics.
Data from the Federal Reserve. There's now a record percentage of American households with stock ownership. In 2019, 53% had stocks in their portfolios. As of last year, that number was up to 58%, either directly owning shares or having an indirect stake in companies through mutual funds.
Oh my god, he's so snobby.
Getting into stocks could make up for this. Fewer white-collar workers are getting end of the year bonuses. More than a third of the companies surveyed said they would not be giving a bonus to their...
I'm Pat Kiernan. Oh, white-collar workers are not getting a Christmas bonus. Hey, Pat Kiernan. Don't you ever think sometimes in this tough economy, us blue-collar guys want food? You ever think about that, Pat? You know, I'll mention in Northwell, because today was my last day before Christmas break, right? We got free food. My office staff cares. Right, Pat? Not all about money. You know?
Wonka,
oh my God!
Had a good opening.
I mean, he just never learns, folks. Oh, by the way, I will give New York 1 credit. They did cover this one. That was an awful story that happened in the Bronx. Let's play this part to wrap it up.
On the front page, an update on the death of the 5-year-old twins in the Bronx. Cops were called to East 175th Street yesterday morning. Police sources say the bodies showed no signs of trauma.
That was so unfortunate. There you go, folks. I mean, it just shows that. And look at this. He talked about Jonathan Majors. I mean, I'm telling you guys, the media is so content. Why do you think Pine Power LI had to call out News of South Shore last night? because they wouldn't cover storm coverage in the Mid-Island region of Nassau last night. And not just that, but the North Shore got hit hard too. Especially in Oyster Bay. They weren't in Oyster Bay yesterday. So I'm done talking. Alright, isn't it a weird coincidence? And you guys remembered when I had to call out Channel 1 2 years ago, in 2021. Remember when they were all focused about COVID, just like News 12 South Shore was. Isn't it the same agony of repeat right before the holiday season that we have to call out our media? The same thing. We gotta hold our media accountable. Alright? There's big bucks being thrown into the media. The money's thrown at them. Either it's Bright House, either it's Altice, you name it. They're being paid off and controlled. Tell us the news. So I'm done talking. And believe me, you don't think I'm done? This happens again, the media will get called out. If it's for reasonable cause, and like I've said time and time again, you will see videos. It won't be every day, but it won't be when it's expected to. Alright? So that's it. I'm done. And shame on you, Channel 1, because you're just a bunch of corporate people in Bright House and your friends in Florida are paying you off. That's it for this video.